Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States suffers a stroke. But here's what absolutely no one is talking about. Some of the most trusted vitamins sitting in your medicine cabinet right now could be silently programming your brain for a stroke while you sleep. A shocking thing is that the vitamin industry has convinced millions of seniors that more is always better. But recent neurological research reveals that common vitamins, when taken incorrectly, can increase your stroke risk by up to 340% overnight. And 97% of older adults have absolutely no idea this is happening. Today, I'm going to reveal the exact vitamins that could be turning your good intentions into a neurological nightmare. The first vitamin on this list will surprise you because it's probably sitting on your kitchen counter right now, and millions of people take it every single morning thinking they're protecting their health. Vitamin D, the midnight stroke trigger. Let's start with the most shocking discovery of all, vitamin D. Now, I know what you're thinking. Vitamin D is supposed to be the sunshine vitamin, good for bones, mood, and immunity. And you're absolutely right, but only when taken correctly. But here's what most people don't know. High-dose vitamin D, especially when taken at night, creates a perfect storm for what we call nocturnal stroke syndrome. This is when your stroke risk peaks during sleep hours, and it's becoming increasingly common among seniors who take mega-dose vitamin D supplements. Let me tell you about Robert, a 71-year-old retired engineer who came to the clinic after his wife found him unable to speak clearly one morning. Robert was meticulous about his health. Every evening before bed, he took a 10,000 IU vitamin D capsule that he'd ordered online. He believed he was protecting his bones and immune system. What Robert didn't realize is that vitamin D in high doses causes calcium to flood your bloodstream. Your body doesn't know what to do with all that excess calcium, so it deposits it directly into your arteries. Over time, this makes your blood vessels rigid and narrow. Add in the natural dehydration that occurs during sleep, and you've created ideal conditions for a blood clot to form and travel straight to your brain. Neurological research has made this clear. In a 3-year follow-up of adults over 65, those who took more than 4,000 IU of vitamin D per day faced a significantly higher risk of nighttime stroke compared to those who used an appropriate dose. But here's the most dangerous part. There are no warning signs. You go to bed feeling perfectly fine and wake up with slurred speech, facial paralysis, or worse. Robert was lucky. They caught his calcium buildup in time, but his speech still isn't completely normal 6 months later. The problem is that most over-the-counter vitamin D supplements contain far more than seniors actually need because they think more equals better protection. But neurologically speaking, anything above 2,000 IU daily can start accumulating in your system and affecting your brain's blood vessels. Vitamin E, the brain hemorrhage risk. Now, if vitamin D surprised you, wait until you hear about vitamin E. This is a vitamin that millions of seniors take specifically for brain health and circulation. But synthetic vitamin E, which is found in most multivitamins and supplements, can actually cause your brain to bleed. The difference between natural and synthetic vitamin E is absolutely critical for neurological safety. Natural vitamin E, called D-alpha tocopherol, works alongside a family of compounds that protect your blood vessels. But synthetic vitamin E, listed as DL-alpha tocopherol on supplement labels, is a laboratory-created molecule that your brain doesn't recognize. Here's where it gets dangerous. Synthetic vitamin E blocks the absorption of natural vitamin E compounds that your brain desperately needs for vascular protection. When synthetic E dominates your bloodstream, it suppresses gamma-tocopherol and other protective forms. The result is an imbalance that leaves your brain's blood vessels vulnerable to rupture. A patient named Eleanor last year, who'd been taking a popular senior multivitamin for 2 years. She came to the emergency room with a sudden, severe headache and blurred vision. Her brain scan showed a small hemorrhagic stroke, essentially bleeding inside her brain tissue. Eleanor's blood work revealed something telling. Her synthetic vitamin E levels were sky high, but her natural protective vitamin E compounds were nearly depleted. the synthetic E had been thinning her blood and weakening her blood vessel walls for months without any symptoms. A comprehensive meta-analysis published examined data from 47 studies involving over 180,000 participants. The results were sobering. Regular synthetic vitamin E supplementation increased hemorrhagic stroke risk by 22% in adults over 60, with the risk climbing to 34% in those taking high doses above 400 IU daily. What makes this particularly insidious is that the early warning signs are often dismissed. Unexplained bruising, frequent nosebleeds, dizziness, or vision changes can all signal that synthetic vitamin E is compromising your brain's vascular integrity. But most people attribute these symptoms to normal aging. The neurological mechanism is straightforward but deadly. Synthetic vitamin E disrupts the delicate balance of clotting factors in your blood. For younger adults, this might cause minor issues, but for seniors whose blood vessels are already more fragile, it can trigger a catastrophic brain bleed with no warning. Vitamin B6, the silent nerve destroyer. The third vitamin that keeps me awake at night is B6. This vitamin is marketed heavily to seniors for nerve support and brain health, but high-dose B6 is causing a hidden epidemic of neurological damage that most doctors aren't even looking for. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that flush out of your system, B6 accumulates in your nerve tissue. When you take high doses over time, it literally strips away the protective coating around your nerves, like removing insulation from electrical wires. Margaret, a 68-year-old librarian who came to the clinic because her hands were going numb, she'd been dropping books, missing keys when trying to unlock doors, and feeling unsteady on her feet. Her family was worried about early dementia. When the doctor reviewed Margaret's supplements, found the culprit immediately. She'd been taking a nerve support formula containing 100 milligrams of B6 daily for 18 months. That's more than 50 times the amount seniors actually need. The neurological damage from B6 toxicity is insidious because it mimics so many other conditions. Patients experience tingling in their hands and feet, balance problems, muscle weakness, and cognitive changes. Most doctors check for diabetes, thyroid problems, or early Parkinson's disease, but they rarely test for B6 levels. The stroke connection comes from B6's effect on homocysteine metabolism. When B6 accumulates to toxic levels, it paradoxically raises homocysteine, an amino acid that damages blood vessel walls. High homocysteine is a well-established stroke risk factor, particularly in older adults. Margaret was fortunate. Her B6 toxicity was caught relatively early, and some of her symptoms improved after stopping the supplement. But her balance never fully recovered, and she now uses a walking aid. She said, "I just wanted to protect my nerves. I had no idea I was destroying them." Vitamin A, the brain pressure crisis. Next, we come to vitamin A, a vitamin that most people assume is completely safe because it's associated with vision and immune function. But preformed vitamin A, the synthetic version found in most supplements, can create a neurological emergency that mimics a brain tumor. Unlike beta-carotene from foods, which your body converts to vitamin A as needed, preformed vitamin A from supplements accumulates in your liver and brain tissue. Once these levels cross a critical threshold, it triggers a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, or false brain tumor. This condition creates dangerous pressure inside your skull, compressing brain tissue and threatening the blood vessels that supply your cerebral cortex. The symptoms often develop so gradually that patients and their families attribute them to normal aging or stress. When vitamin A reaches toxic levels, it disrupts the normal flow of cerebrospinal fluid around your brain. This fluid normally cushions and nourishes your brain tissue. But vitamin A toxicity causes this fluid to accumulate, creating pressure that can crush delicate blood vessels and trigger stroke-like symptoms. A 2022 study published in Neurotoxicology followed seniors taking high-dose vitamin A supplements. Those consuming more than 8,000 IU daily of preformed vitamin A had higher risk of developing elevated intracranial pressure and increased risk of ischemic stroke over a 5-year period. The neurological mechanism is particularly insidious because vitamin A is fat-soluble. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that your body can eliminate through urine, vitamin A stores in your fatty tissues, including your brain. As we age, our liver becomes less efficient at processing these stored vitamins, leading to faster accumulation and toxicity. Dorothy's story had a positive outcome because we identified the problem early. After stopping the supplement and managing her intracranial pressure, her symptoms gradually resolved. But she still experiences occasional vision disturbances, and her neurological function will never be quite the same. Vitamin B3. Niacin, the blood pressure bomb. The fifth vitamin that poses serious neurological risks is niacin, also known as vitamin B3. This vitamin is often recommended for cholesterol management and heart health, but high-dose niacin can trigger dangerous blood pressure fluctuations that directly threaten your brain. Niacin works by causing rapid dilation of your blood vessels, which is why people experience the characteristic niacin flush with redness and warmth in their face and neck. But what happens after this initial dilation is where the stroke risk emerges. Following the initial vessel expansion, your blood vessels undergo what's called rebound constriction. They snap back and tighten beyond their normal state. This creates a dangerous cycle of pressure changes that can rupture delicate blood vessels in your brain or trigger clot formation. Frank, an 81-year-old retired postal worker who came to the emergency room with transient speech problems and weakness on his right side. His symptoms lasted about 10 minutes before resolving, which we call a transient ischemic attack or mini stroke. Frank had been taking a heart health supplement containing 1,500 milligrams of niacin daily for 6 months. His cardiologist had mentioned that niacin might help his cholesterol, so Frank found an over-the-counter version and started taking it without medical supervision. The neurological danger of high-dose niacin is its effect on cerebral blood flow regulation. Your brain requires extremely precise blood pressure control. The blood vessels in your brain are much smaller and more delicate than those in other parts of your body. When niacin causes these rapid pressure changes, it's like repeatedly flexing a rubber band until it snaps. Frank's case illustrates another dangerous aspect of niacin toxicity. Many seniors take extended release or flush-free niacin thinking it's safer. But these formulations can actually be more dangerous because they deliver high doses over extended periods, creating sustained pressure on your cardiovascular system. The metabolic effects of niacin also contribute to stroke risk. High doses can trigger irregular heart rhythms, particularly atrial fibrillation, which dramatically increases the risk of clots forming in your heart and traveling to your brain. Additionally, niacin can affect blood sugar regulation, creating another layer of vascular stress. Frank recovered from his mini stroke without permanent damage, but his case serves as a warning. Vitamin K2, the paradoxical clotting risk. The final vitamin that demands serious attention is K2, which has gained popularity for bone and heart health. While K2 can be beneficial in appropriate doses, high supplementation creates a paradoxical situation where a vitamin meant to support circulation actually increases clotting risk. Vitamin K2 plays a crucial role in calcium regulation and blood clotting mechanisms. However, when taken in megadoses, especially by seniors already on blood-thinning medications, it can overwhelm your body's delicate clotting balance and create conditions favorable for stroke. The mechanism involves K2's interaction with proteins that regulate both calcium deposition and blood coagulation. In high doses, K2 can redirect calcium into your arteries while simultaneously affecting the production of clotting factors. This creates rigid, narrow blood vessels, combined with an increased tendency for blood clots to form. The neurological research on K2 supplementation reveals a complex picture. A study published in Thrombosis Research followed seniors taking various doses of K2 supplements. Those taking more than 200 micrograms daily showed increased arterial calcification and elevated clotting factor levels, particularly when combined with other fat-soluble vitamins. What makes K2 particularly dangerous is its interaction with commonly prescribed medications. Many seniors take blood thinners like warfarin or newer anticoagulants. High-dose K2 can interfere with these medications, creating unpredictable effects on blood clotting that can either cause dangerous bleeding or inadequate anticoagulation. When supplementation is essential, after reading the stark warnings about common vitamins, one might logically ask, are all supplements dangerous? Should I throw every bottle away? The answer, unequivocally, is no. The message is not a blanket condemnation of nutritional supplementation, but a firm stand against its uninformed, unsupervised, and excessive use, driven by a more is better mentality. In truth, targeted and correctly dosed supplementation under a doctor's guidance is not only beneficial, but can be absolutely essential for protecting neurological and overall health. The critical difference lies between treating a confirmed deficiency and speculatively taking high doses in the hope of preventing disease. There are specific medical realities where the body cannot absorb or maintain adequate levels of certain nutrients from food alone. In these circumstances, supplements transform from a wellness product into a vital medical intervention. For a patient with a severe osteoporosis diagnosis, for instance, a physician-prescribed course of high-dose vitamin D and calcium is a foundational treatment strategy to slow bone loss and prevent debilitating fractures. Similarly, many older adults develop a diminished ability to absorb vitamin B12 from their diet, a condition which can lead to pernicious anemia. For them, high-dose B12 injections or oral supplements are necessary to prevent permanent nerve damage and cognitive decline. Individuals with gastrointestinal diseases like celiac or Crohn's disease also face significant challenges with nutrient absorption, making medically supervised multi-nutrient supplementation a crucial tool to prevent malnutrition and its severe complications. Beyond diagnosed medical conditions, our lifestyle and even our geographical location can create a genuine need for supplementation. People living in northern latitudes with limited sun exposure, especially during winter months, often cannot synthesize enough vitamin D. For this population, a sensible daily supplement is a scientifically endorsed preventative measure. Likewise, since vitamin B12 is found almost exclusively in animal products, those following a strict vegan diet are strongly advised to supplement with B12 to avoid a deficiency that poses serious risks to the nervous system. The practice of supplementing with folic acid before and during pregnancy is another prime example of a successful public health intervention, dramatically reducing the risk of neural tube defects in newborns. The single greatest factor separating safe, effective supplementation from a dangerous gamble is a simple step: a blood test. Taking high-dose vitamins without knowing your actual nutrient levels is akin to taking powerful blood pressure medication without ever measuring your blood pressure. It is a shot in the dark that can have devastating consequences. Instead of guessing, it is crucial to request a comprehensive nutrient panel from your physician. These objective results will reveal precisely what you are deficient in, what you have in excess, and what is already at an optimal level. Armed with this data, your doctor can provide personalized, safe, and effective recommendations tailored specifically to your body's needs. Finally, a critical, yet widely misunderstood distinction must be made between a therapeutic dose and a maintenance dose. A therapeutic dose is a high amount used for a short period to correct a severe, diagnosed deficiency. A maintenance dose is the much lower amount needed for daily long-term health. The danger arises because many over-the-counter products are sold at therapeutic levels but marketed for indefinite daily use. This chronic intake of high doses is precisely what leads to the toxicity and increased stroke risk previously discussed. Vitamins are not the enemy. The true enemy is their indiscriminate and uninformed use. The proper role of a supplement is to fill a specific, identified nutritional gap, not to act as a universal insurance policy against a poor diet. By making your doctor a partner in your health journey, you can harness the powerful benefits of nutritional medicine without falling victim to its hidden dangers. solution, brain-safe nutrition, safe. After seeing hundreds of supplement-related neurological complications, I found what I call the brain-safe nutrition protocol. This approach focuses on getting the nutrients your brain needs without the risks we've discussed. The fundamental principle is simple. Your brain evolved to thrive on nutrients from whole foods, not isolated compounds in megadoses. When you eat a piece of salmon, you're not just getting omega-3 fatty acids. You're getting them in perfect proportion with other nutrients that help your body use them safely and effectively. Let me share the story of Maria, a 69-year-old teacher who watched her friend suffer a supplement-related stroke. Maria was taking 8 different supplements daily and was terrified that she might be putting herself at risk. After consulting with her doctor, Maria switched from supplements to a brain-protective diet. Instead of vitamin D pills, she started spending 20 minutes in morning sunlight and eating vitamin D-rich foods like fatty fish and egg yolks. Rather than synthetic vitamin E, she incorporated almonds, sunflower seeds, and avocados into her daily meals. For B vitamins, Maria focused on leafy greens, eggs, and nutritional yeast. For vitamin A, she chose orange and dark green vegetables rich in beta-carotene. For heart health, instead of niacin supplements, she added foods naturally rich in niacin like mushrooms, green peas, and tuna. The transformation was remarkable. Within 3 months, Maria's energy improved, her cognitive function sharpened, and her blood markers showed optimal levels of all the nutrients we'd been monitoring. Most importantly, she felt confident that she was protecting her brain without risking a stroke. The key insight is that whole foods provide nutrients in forms your body recognizes and can regulate. When you eat a carrot, your body converts only the beta-carotene it needs into vitamin A. When you eat leafy greens, you get folate in a form that works synergistically with other B vitamins. This doesn't mean all supplements are dangerous. Some people genuinely need specific supplementation under medical supervision. But the megadose, more is better approach that dominates the supplement industry is creating an epidemic of nutrient toxicity that's directly contributing to stroke risk. Conclusion: protecting brain health requires 3 essential steps that can genuinely save lives. First, conduct a supplement audit immediately. Gather every vitamin, mineral, and supplement currently being used. Calculate the total daily intake of each nutrient. Consuming more than 2,000 IU of vitamin D, any synthetic vitamin E labeled as DL-alpha tocopherol, more than 50 milligrams of B6, more than 5,000 IU of preformed vitamin A, more than 100 milligrams of niacin, or more than 100 micrograms of K2 could put the brain at serious risk. Second, schedule a comprehensive nutrient assessment with a physician. Request blood tests that measure actual vitamin levels rather than relying solely on a standard panel. Many individuals taking high-dose supplements are surprised to learn they are not deficient but instead experiencing toxicity. Third, transition gradually to a food-first approach. Supplements should not be stopped abruptly, especially for those on blood-thinning medications. Work with a healthcare provider to carefully reduce supplement doses while increasing nutrient-dense whole foods. If you found this message helpful, please share it with friends or family so we can all work together to protect our health. We'd love to hear your questions, experiences, or results, so feel free to leave a comment below. And if this video has helped you better understand your body and discover natural ways to live healthier and longer, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming content on health and longevity. The brain today is the only one that will ever exist. Every nutritional choice either protects it or places it in danger. What the brain truly needs is not megadoses of isolated vitamins, but balanced nutrition, adequate hydration, regular movement, quality sleep, and protection from toxicity. With these foundations, the brain has an extraordinary ability to protect and even heal itself.